Hey guys, welcome to Rosie's Dessert Spot. In this tutorial we'll be creating this fault line cake with fondant decorations. To create this cake I'm using an extra tall 5-inch cake, and there'll be a link in the eye icon and description on how to build a cake like this. For the outside I'm going to use a turquoise coloured frosting, so I just added a little bit of gel food colour into my buttercream. Recipe for buttercream will also be in the eye and in the description. Add some at the top and the bottom and then start to smooth it out. If there are any pockets, go in with some more frosting and then continue to smooth out to your heart's content. At this point, bring the lip of frosting into the center, and I like to use a spatula for this, or you could always cut it off later and just put it into the fridge to set. Once it's all neat, I will be placing it in the fridge anyway to set, and we'll be working on the decoration on the outside, which is made out of fondant. I like to use the Bakels brand of fondant. I don't actually make my own as of yet. Roll it out till it's nice and thin. I'm talking like 1.5 millimeters, really thin for this step. And then take a silicone mold that has raised areas, lay your fondant over the top, give it a bit of a press to indent that shape, and then use a rolling pin to roll over and cut the fondant against those raised lines. That's why you want your fondant to be nice and thin. If it's too thick, it won't cut through all the way and it becomes really messy. Cut out all the little pockets in between, give it a bit of a rub to help cut the process if it's not cut through all the way. Turn it upside down and then gently peel back the mold and press out the fondant with a spatula just to help keep it level. I did add cornstarch into my mold beforehand as well, just to make sure that it didn't stick. You could do this with a fondant smoother instead, that cuts really nicely too. And you could use a very sharp knife for this, but I'd recommend using a pin or something that won't damage your mold. I let mine sit on my countertop for at least 20 minutes so that the fondant became nice and firm, which means that it held its shape a lot better and it just became a lot easier to work with. Press it onto your cake. The cake has come out of the freezer. It had been in there for 20 minutes, so it's condensated a little bit on the outside. Because of the soft condensation, it is nice and sticky for my fondant. If your fondant does not want to stick, what you'll want to do is brush a little bit of water behind your fondant before applying it to your cake. Line it up with the previous row. So I did cut out about 6 of these. Cut off the excess at the very top, either with a knife or a scissors. A knife will come out a lot more smoother, I found out later. But for the little sections on the inside, I did use my knife and I cut it in line with that raised blue buttercream section. That should just come off nice and easily. For the flowers, I've used fondant again, but a little bit thicker this time, and a plunger cutter. This is a heavily leafed plunger cutter. You can use blossoms instead, and then just plop them right against that line. If they're not sticking, you can add a little bit of water behind your flowers to make them sticky. I think this is a really great way to break everything up. Into the center of each flower I've dabbed on a little bit of water to make it sticky, and then a white pearl. And you are done. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and you give it a go. This can be done with many colors, but I thought to keep it nice and subtle here. If you recreate this, please do tag us, #Rosie's Dessert Spot, so I can see your awesome creations as well. Thanks for tuning in, feel free to subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.